Come to me, my children. Follow the sound of my voice to receive thy blessings. Unburden yourself.
Ow! 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 Ow!
And welcome to the Church of Last Resort with the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. The Church of Last Resort, where your prayers are heard, your sins forgiven, and no matter what you believe, you won't believe this shit. And now, the Reverend, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll.
Here I could even, I don't have a problem being live. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the delay here. We are waiting for the Rev to get his camera working. And apparently he's blaming it on me or something. But I'll just say here and say, I'm not a reverend, but I don't even play one on TV. How about this? Coffee with the Dog is a blobbity blah. We do apologize for these technical issues. He's saying, not for me. I reset twice. That's what he's saying. Not for me. I reset twice. Your camera, you can make yourself alive. You're there. You see that? Do you see that? You're here. And I can add or remove you, but you have no camera on. You see that? Do you see that? If I do this, take that out. No, I'm on the background now. And if I do this, see that? I have a camera. My camera is on. You can see me in the bottom there. Do you see you on the bottom there, or do you see a black screen there? Ladies and gentlemen, pray for the Rev, because he seems to be lost in a cycle of blame this morning, or irresponsibility. I'm Tim Pool, by the way. I didn't want to, and I don't have my normal Tim Pool lighting on. Well, you could tell I'm Tim Pool because I can't get a girlfriend. So I'll just sit here. So what's happening? Did you vote? Did you like it? Did you enjoy the process? Did Starlink zap you? I don't know what to say. Ladies, this is the program that you've tuned into. But it must be somebody else's fault, because it can't be the Rev's fault. Because he reset twice, even though he doesn't see his he doesn't see his face in this little box down here. And if I add him here, nothing happens. Add to stage, nothing happens. See, he's not there. Of course, he's getting an information trouble connecting. I'm not getting such a message. So who do you think might be the problem? I just don't know. Now, you move, right? I have to admit, I'm not seeing me on the YouTube channel though. Something is amiss. StreamYard could be screwing up. Could be a StreamYard screw up. I don't know. I just don't know. Let me check Facebook really quick. Mind.tv. Nope, I'm not even seeing anything there. Oh, there I am. No, I see me. I'm coming through on Facebook. Why am I not coming through on YouTube? I'm not connected. There we go. Good morning, Rev.
Good morning. You didn't finish your sentence, but good morning. I apologize. The internet issue is all on my side. I had to change devices, and I do not know why the other device didn't work. It said it was working. I'm looking, and it says, "Look, I'm 5G. I've got 5 bars." I'm looking at my computer, and my computer says I'm 5 bars, and apparently it was enough bars to make it drunk. Like, you ever been drunk and you think you're doing something right, and there's nobody around to tell you you're not doing something right, and you just keep doing the wrong fucking thing? That's what was happening. Everything looked right, and I'm trusting all the little meters. I'll tell you
Kind of like the voting.
Yes, exactly like that. So first of all, before I even start with the good mornings to brothers and sisters, I want to thank Peter Poole or Timmy Poole or Swimming Pool, whatever the name is, for
Seth. They call me Seth Poole.
Seth Poole, for filling in so that you won't be looking at nothing. And maybe, I'm sorry about being 15 minutes late. This is not a CPT thing. I was here. As a matter of fact, I was early. So, and I'm not going to make any more excuses or explanations. I'm just going to go on. And if we run a little long, if the staff has to leave at 10, I'm going to still try to give you an hour of blessed entertainment, although the last 15 minutes will be a blessing to you. We'll see what happens. Good morning, brothers and sisters. This includes our new members who may be enjoying us for the first time, wherever you may be and wherever you want to be, because you may not be where you want to be, but there you are. Welcome to the Church of Last Resort. Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, PhD, DDS, ADHD, MCLIX, and people have called me the racy reverend, the pervert pastor, the vile, vulgar vicar of vice, the sexy shepherd, the missionary man, the dirty deacon of doggy style, and the frisky friar, the ass man abbot, the booty banging brother, the handsy high priest, the minister of making love, the clergy of cunning conversation while eating pussy, and that nasty N-word. And I'm sure that's going to I'm going to disappear for just a second because my mouse is over here. And for those of you who have mice or mouse problem, you understand what I'm talking about. They don't stay put. You put them one place and they disappear and they wind up someplace else. That's what mice do, which is why you need a cat sometimes. All right. Now, I know that some of you probably been in church since Tuesday night, and you're thinking prayer did not work. And I'm not going to argue with you. I got no argument for you. I don't. This is the fucked up thing about prayer, okay? Which is why, when I start with the prayer, that's why I have a disclaimer, all right? But before we go, before we start, let us begin in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor. Can I get a fuck? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. All right. So you can tell by just the way things are starting out that it's not normal. It's just not normal. Shit's been going on and going wrong for a little bit now. We don't know what's going on. Got to make sense out of it. All right. It is time for our opening prayers, even the ones that don't work. Okay. If you or someone you know is in need of a prayer, and I expect many of you are, by the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, please send your request for prayer and a healing, healing or forgiveness or any such bullshit request to me at drreverendjellyroll@gmail.com. And please remember to spell roll with an E on the end, the back end, after the L's, not before the R, not the front end, but on the back end. Okay, because if you do it wrong, like with no E, you're going to get that other jelly roll. Okay, and he will not honor any prayer requests. That's not what he does. He does not give a shit about your prayer requests. He only gives a shit about you paying for your tickets. All right. So now for our legal disclaimer. While all prayers are heard, not all prayers are answered when we want them to be. Some loopholes and restrictions may apply. So please bow your heads really low now. Not so low that you kiss your own ass, but low enough that it can be noticed that you're praying. Unless you're driving your car, because then if you dip your head too far, you can't see the road. Okay? So in that case, just close your eyes. All right? And let Jesus do the driving for a little bit. Okay. Dear Lord, please bless our brother Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones, the multi-talented music titan whose vast legacy ranged from producing Michael Jackson's historic Thriller album to writing prize-winning film and television scores and collaborating with Frank Sinatra, Ray Charles, and hundreds of other recording artists. He has died at 91. He died last Sunday evening. It was the 3rd of November. The day I'll always remember, yeah. Because that was the day that our Quincy died. I never got a chance to see him. Never heard nothing but good things about him. So, Google, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth. All right. He died at his home in the Bel Air section of Los Angeles, surrounded by his family. Oh, Lord, not another one. Not another one. Surrounded by family. Lord have mercy. This is getting out of control. It's getting out of control. It's getting out of control. Jones was arguably the most versatile pop culture figure of the 20th century, perhaps best known for producing the albums Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad for Michael Jackson in the 1980s, which made the singer of the biggest pop star of all time. He was like, boom, boom. He was like popular before, but once Quincy Jones got his hands all up in that shit, it was like, boom. You know, I wish I'd known that, because I'd have let Jones put his hands up in my shit if I thought that would made me boom like that. But all right. Jones also produced music for Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, Donna Summer, and many others. Now, you may not know who Many Others is. Many Others, not Minnie Riperton, but Many Others was a avant-garde artist, and even Quincy Jones couldn't make him that popular, because by definition, avant-garde means with guard, I think. But at any rate, he was also a successful composer of dozens of film scores and had numerous chart hits under his own name. Now, some of you may remember his debut, not jazz album, but his debut pop album, which was called Body Heat. And I love that album. I had it on cassette. Well, actually, I had the album, the vinyl album, but I put it on cassette, and I used to walk to school and sing it all the fucking time. I love that album. You know, it was a good album. And it also had this really great slow jam that you got all that good grind up in there. It was called Body Heat. It was like, yeah, get the grind. It was a good party song. It was one of the, get that body heat. Oh, girl. Yeah, it wasn't like that. He did it a little bit better than me. A lot better than me. A fucking lot better than me. So he had multiple charts under his own name. Jones was a band leader in big band jazz and an arranger for jazz stars, including Count Basie, and a multi-instrumentalist. Okay, that means he played multi-instruments, and most proficiently on trumpet and piano. His TV and film production company, founded in 1990, had major success with the sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and other shows. See, that's how you know the other shows. See, when the obituaries, they put like the big thing, and other stuff. And other stuff it just pads the resume. It just wasn't that popular. It means if you want to find out about that, you have to look it up yourself because we're not proud enough to tell you about it. We're just going to tell you that shit out there. All right. And he continued to innovate well into his 80s, launching Quest TV in 2017. That's Quest QWEST, which was an on-demand music TV service. Now, Jones is third only to Beyonce and Jay-Z for having the most Grammy Award nominations of all time. 80. He had 80. And Beyonce and Jay-Z each had 88. Now, to be honest, Quincy could have had 91 if he looked better in a teddy. All right. There's just something about saying all the single ladies you're wearing a little teddy. I'm sure if Quincy was singing like things like Buffalo Soldier and he's wearing that little teddy, he'd have gotten more awards. I'm just saying. And now I like to say he'd look better in a teddy, not the lingerie. I mean the lingerie, not Pendergrass. He wouldn't look good in Teddy Pendergrass, no matter what the internet says. He's also the award's third most garlanded winner with 28. Yep, should have won that teddy. He should have won that teddy. And if that wasn't enough, he was a producer on We Are the World. Who does not know We Are the World? I don't even know who doesn't know We Are the World. You know somebody doesn't know who We Are the World are? That in 1985, that raised $60 million to help starving people in Africa. That would be $130 million in Biden dollars. Okay, in Biden economy, that would be $130 million. I'm going to get one of Quincy's dear friends to play a little song for us. We rehearsed this. Ray Charles, who played with Quincy Jones. Go ahead, Ray, hit it. Ho. Sorry, Ray, that is not the song we rehearsed. It is not. Don't look at me like that. Sorry, don't look at me like that. Don't not see me like that. That's not the song we practiced. Here we go. America. Oh yeah, God shed His grace. Yeah, shed His grace on thee. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes, indeed. Oh yeah. Brother Quincy. This for you, Brother Quincy. Yes, indeed. Oh yeah, he said he would. Yes, he did. From sea, yes, indeed, to signing sea. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you. Yeah, high five. Yeah, high five. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, thank you. It's not often that we get celebrities in here because there's not much room. Once you see how there's like all these dicks and dildos and toys all over the place, there's not much room for a special guest, especially when they have a piano and they bring their own. So thank you, Brother Ray, and bless you, Brother Quincy. Can I get a for you, Brother Quincy? Yes, indeed. And also, I apologize to those ears out there who may have been hurt by that. There was no way of testing the sound before we did it, especially since I didn't know I was doing it. Dear Lord, please bless Sister Judith Jameson. She was an Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater trailblazer and artistic director emeritus. She's died at 81 after a brief illness. Does not say what that brief illness is. I'm assuming it wasn't very long since they said she followed it. So I guess it was like this, and then she passed. I don't know. You have to look up brief illnesses and see what brief illness can kill you. I'm assuming all of them can now because it seems like every time I see brief illness, somebody died. Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater released a statement saying in part, "We remember and are grateful for her artistry, humanity, and incredible light, which inspired us all." Those quotes. Well, I guess they meant them all because a lot of we all didn't know who she all was. And that's a damn shame because she was a phenomenal dancer and choreographer from what I learned in that 5-minute YouTube clip. Okay, I rounded up. It wasn't quite 5 minutes. Jamerson grew up in Philadelphia and trained there in ballet from a young age at a time when Black dancers were rare in ballet. They were all over the fucking place. They were in the streets, they were on stages, they were in the back of old movies. Like Marx Brothers had a lot of Black dancers in there. You know, you couldn't turn on the Peter Gabriel video without seeing Black dancers, or those are Black singers. Never mind. Same thing with David Byrne. Oh, although David Byrne did have Black dancers in the back of Stop Making Sense. Yeah, so he did. So at any rate, they were everywhere else but in ballet. So it was kind of rare, you know, like seeing a unicorn. Although that's rare, that's not that rare, depending on how much acid you dropped. She ended her career with she ended her dance career in 1965, right? No, I'm sorry. She began her dance career in 1965 and ended with us in 2024. The Ailey motto was educate, entertain, and uplift. Can I get a lift up to heaven? For Sister Jamerson, yes, indeed. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Tony Todd. Tony Todd, the veteran actor who starred in Candyman and the Final Destination films, has died at the age of 69. Todd died on Wednesday at his home in Marina Del Rey, California. His cause of death was not released. That did not stop his spirit from being released. Just because you don't know why they died doesn't mean they're not going to die. The industry has lost a legend. We have lost a cherished friend. Rest in peace, Tony. So says Final Destination family, which is kind of weird because he spent most of those movies trying to kill the final. No, that wasn't him. That was Candyman. Anyway, I don't know how many of those Final Destination family members are left, because if you watched it, they were dying, like dropping like flies. I think I never saw the movies, never watched them. Todd portrayed one of the horror genre's most well-known villains when he starred in 1992's Candyman and its sequels. He also appeared in the Final Destination franchise, playing the role of William Bloodworth. Yes, indeed. One of his early acting credits included a role in Oliver Stone's Academy Award-winning film Platoon, where he played a black guy, I presume. I haven't seen that movie in years, and I don't remember what he did. His other credits include The Crow, which I love that movie. I've watched it a dozen times at least. The Rock, which I don't think I ever watched, and the Night of the Living Dead remake. He had more than 240 film and TV credits during his career. Rest in peace, Tony. Can I get a Final Destination for you? And dear Lord, please bless. Okay. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Elwood Edwards. Elwood was the voice of AOL's email greeting, "You Got Mail." He died at 74. He passed following an undisclosed long illness. Okay, that's the double whammy: the undisclosed disease and long illness. I've been trying to get money raised to fight both of those things. Do some research. Okay. Why was he following? Now, why was he following undisclosed and long? Why was he following? That's a classic horror movie mistake. You don't follow undisclosed or long illness. You don't follow because they turn around and bite you in the ass. Any former AOL user can recognize his voice. More than 30 years ago, Edwards recorded 4 iconic lines for what was then a little-known company called America Online. His wife, Karen, worked at Quantum Computer Services, which eventually became AOL, and I'm assuming now it's LOL, because it's kind of nobody has AOL anymore. Well, I'll take that back. Edwards said in an AOL YouTube video in 2012, in 1989. Oh, in 1980, yeah, fuck that. You know, I just fucked that sentence up. It basically says what I just read you. Edwards talked about that in 2012. I'm not going to try to reread that sentence because I think I fucked up the syntax when I typed it. In 1989, his wife Karen was overheard the CEO of American Airlines, Steve Case, discussing adding a voice to the upcoming AOL software, and she volunteered her husband. She says he will do it. Now, he recorded those messages on a cassette tape. Google it. And for those,
you've got mail.
Yes, that's him. That was his voice. You've got mail. Okay. And he also said, welcome, files done, and goodbye. Those are the 4 messages. And those messages will eventually be heard by hundreds of millions of people and become a staple part of the AOL experience. There are still a number of people with AOL email addresses. I think that number is 3. Rest in peace, Elwood. Can I get a goodbye? Goodbye. Fuck yeah! Dear Lord, please bless the Kamala Harris Coalition. It died peacefully in its sleep, surrounded by tens of millions of family and friends. And you know how I feel about that. It was only 3 months old. While the actual cause of death, almost 4 months old. While the actual cause of death is still being debated, what is certain is that when it came to give up the ghost, it willingly succumbed. Speaking of succumbed, that's what all of you people who voted for Trump can do. Succumb. Because you've already been doing it. You succumb to fear. You succumb to racism. You succumb to ignorance. You succumb to the will and willingness to lie for the lies of a future autocrat and wannabe fascist dictator. You succumbed to the sound of Lady Justice being silenced because she was denied the one thing that she is supposed to do. Render true equality under the law. Yes, you succumbed, and now you should swallow before you choke on it. Can I get a big gulp? And finally, Lord, please bless the entire behind-the-scenes staff at MindDog TV. They are truly doing your work, helping to spread your word throughout the wordosphere. They could be anywhere today, but they are here, wishing they were anywhere, and that ought to count for something. Wishes. We're gonna start a Make-A-Wish Foundation for the people in the background, so that when they wish they weren't here, they don't have to be. There's somebody else that can take their place, because there's so much money in the payroll. There were people just like coming off the street saying, "I used to be part of the Kamala Harris election team, and I need a job now. Can I work for MindDog TV?" That's our goal, to be able to hire people who need help. That's right. And now if we could just do a bump for the Lord, which I wasn't ready for because I don't do this very often. I've only had like 56 episodes, and I don't know about this part here. But please, everybody, let's have a bump for the Lord. And it's good to the last drop. And it's much better when you wash this. When you wash it, it tastes much better. So thank you, whoever washed this for me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Because last time it was like somebody forgot to wash it. And it was like, what the? Just like that. So in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck? Yeah. Fuck yeah! So, brothers and sisters, now what? Okay, now what? That's the question. Because it doesn't matter who you voted for. I mean, it matters, but it's over with now. Okay, what's about to happen is going to happen. I don't want people to feel lost. I don't want people to feel dejected. I don't want people to feel hopeless, okay? I don't want you to feel desperate. There's plenty of time to feel lost, hopeless, and desperate. Plenty of time. Like January 22nd. We are still in November. Now, when I say now what, I'm talking about for us. I'm not talking about for Biden and Kamala Harris. I have no idea. Honestly, I have no answers, and any answers I would have probably be as useful as my prediction that Kamala Harris was going to win 40 states and the popular vote and the electoral college. So there you have it. I fucked up. I can't say I was reading the tea leaves because I don't have any tea leaves. I have tea, but it's already in little bags. Okay, no leaves to read. So what can we do? Well, here's the thing. This is what works. Trump's ego is very fragile, very, very fragile. And he needs love. He needs the kind of love that he did not get from his father. He hates disapproval. The problem is when there's too much disapproval, he rides up right against it. He just like goes, oh yeah, I can't have what I want. Well, watch this, motherfuckers. And that's what he does. You think his campaign team, do you think they wanted him to go out and say racist shit? They kept wanting him to talk about the economy. They kept wanting him to talk about other things, but he just kept saying racist, fascist, take over, revenge. You know something? Of all the things I can fault Trump for, I cannot fault him for knowing how to control the narrative. He was born for narrative control. That's what he was born for. I mean, he knows how to manipulate media like nobody's business. It comes from an excessive need to be loved because he never got that, and an excessive need to have revenge because people mocked him and made fun of him, and he always felt small. So this is what's the problem. This is what we got to do. First of all, you've got to get informed, people. Please, you've got to be informed because none of this works if you are ignorant, all right? None of this works if you're ignorant. It only works if you are informed and you get what I'm trying to say. First of all, we are still the people. We are still the power, okay? I know Elon Musk has bought a lot of fucking power with that money. Elon Musk is mortal, okay? And he's a flawed mortal. You've seen how most of the stuff he touches turns to shit. And the only reason why he's still around is because he has so much fucking money that he can afford to lose some shit. We cannot. Okay. Speaking for most of us cannot afford to lose shit. We have to do things right the first time. We don't get a second chance at it. We invest money in a business. We don't get a chance to fail twice. Okay. We invest in a home. We don't get a chance to fail twice. Because if we get that home repossessed, chances are, you lose that home, you're going to be, well, first of all, you're going to be probably on bankruptcy for 7 years or something. Doesn't even matter if you don't go bankrupt. Even if you sell the house and you lose money on it, you short sell the house, you still can't buy a house for 7 years. Okay. We do not get those opportunities. All right. So you got to get informed, get smart. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do, if you're a Democrat, temporarily, up until the next election that it matters, change your party affiliation to Republican. I know it's going to sound crazy. It sounds crazy. I'm not asking you to vote Republican, but there's a reason I'm telling you to do this, because the next step is you're going to have to start, whenever Trump says something crazy, because that's what he does. He doesn't just come out and do shit in the quiet usually. He talks about it to see how people react. So he knows what to expect. He knows what kind of backlash to get. All right. So let's say Trump says, I want to deport 12 million people. 12 million people. All right. I'm going to round them up, put them in concentration camps. Now, he's going to have people in his ear like Stephen Miller, who's going to tell him, matter of fact, that was probably his idea to begin with. Good idea. Good idea. People will love it. That's why they put you in office. Now, if you are registered as a Republican, you can call your representatives, okay? And yes, learn who your fucking representatives are. Learn who your members of Congress are. Learn who your senators are. And I know a lot of you don't, because the night before the election, people were still Googling, is Joe Biden running or what? So I know there's a lot of fucking people out there who don't pay attention. So this is going to work. If we're going to fight back, you've got to know who your allies and your enemies are. You got to know who represents you, okay? Learn your fucking representatives. Get their phone numbers. Put it on speed dial. It's public record. You can find out who they are. Put it in your phone, all right? Call your representatives, and I mean call. Literally make your voice heard, okay? You're not going to talk to your representative. You're going to talk to their people, all right? And they take notes. They write this down, and they hate being bombarded. People who take these calls hate being bombarded with calls that complain. They want to hear that they've done shit right. That's what makes them feel good. So if Trump says, I'm going to put people in internment camps, you get on the phone. You call your representatives, you call your senators, okay? And you tell them, because now you're a registered Republican. You say, I'm a Republican, I don't like this shit. And the first thing they're going to hear is, oh shit, Republicans are rebelling. And they're going to take that word up to the people up there, okay? Stephen Miller don't give a shit. But if they can get that in Trump's ear or on the press, they tell the press goes, all right, Republicans are rebelling against this. They're saying it's a bad idea. There's a chance that shit won't go through. I can't guarantee it'll work, but if you don't say shit, that's exactly what's going to happen, whatever he says. And every time he says something crazy, all of you people who used to be Democrats, no, you're still Democrats and independents, but registered Republicans, you call and you give them shit. You let them know what you think. You say that's a bad idea. That's going to hurt me and my family. Okay, and yes, we know that Trump is that petty, because when Puerto Rico was struck by Hurricane Maria, he didn't want to send aid. When California was struck but with the wildfires, he didn't want to send aid. His people had to show him that where the fire struck, there were Republican voters there who voted for him, and that's when he sent the aid. When he found that there were Republicans there in that area, he sent aid and he sent help. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work all the time, because the abortion bans all over the place. It's not just Democrats to get aborted. It's Republican women too. And it's not just Democrat women that are dying. Republican women are dying as well. Okay? Some things they're just not going to give a shit about. But maybe we can minimize the damage by making them care about some of the shit or a lot of the shit. All right. So again, temporarily change your party affiliation to Republican and change it back to Democrat if you want to vote in the Democratic primary. All right. Because you don't want to lose your voice there. Okay. And once the primary is over, go back to registering a Republican and make those calls. You call those motherfuckers every chance you get. Every time you hear about something crazy on the fucking news that he wants, when he says he's thinking about it, he really is thinking about it. And if he just sometimes he just casually says shit in conversation, like they'll say, Mr. Trump, Mr. Resident, I will not call him the P word. He's going to be Mr. Resident to me. Mr. Resident, people are saying that you and Melania are getting a divorce. And he might say something like, well, that's why we need more European women coming into the country and less brown people. All right. And he's thinking about that then. That's his policy. He wants to say white people only coming in the country. And if you have to listen to it. And when he says that shit, you get on the phone and you call. You might be calling every day, because every day he says something crazy, some crazy shit trying to keep us off balance. And when he tries to keep us off balance, he's trying to keep us inactive so that we're so panicked and so afraid that we're, and so overwhelmed that we cannot react to everything. But if we get together, we can fight back. Okay. And don't make threats. Please do not make threats. Do not make threats that you cannot carry out. Make promises that you can deliver. Let me say that again. Do not make threats that you cannot carry out. Make promises that you can deliver. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. When I was a child, small child, about 5 years old, my mother and I were having a discussion, the kind of discussion that 5-year-olds have with their parents when they're right and the parents are wrong. And I was giving my mother backlip because I was not afraid of my mother. I wasn't afraid of anything except for, to be honest, white people in hoods. I was afraid of them. Even at 5 and 6, I knew about the Klan. I was educated about the Klan, and I was scared of the Klan when I was by myself. It was when I was with my family and friends, I was not afraid. Only when I was by myself, going to school and coming back home, that's when I was afraid. But anyway, that's beside the point. I wasn't afraid of my mother. I would give my mother some lip. My mother says, "Boy, you say one more word, and I'm going to smack the black right off of you." Those are her very words. And I looked at my mother and I said, "One more word." And she slapped up my face so fucking hard that I fell across the floor, slid across the floor, and I started crying, but not, just not the boo-hoo cry, just the tears welled up in my eyes because that shit hurt. And the snot bubbles blowing out my nose. And I was like, and I looked at my mother and I said, "I'm still black." And from that on, my mother could not threaten me with shit she couldn't do, because she knew I was going to call her on it. And she says, "I'm going to smack the black off of you." It's like, okay, let's see you do it. She couldn't do it. And she lost credibility. My mother said she was going to slap the taste out of my mouth. Guess what? She lost credibility. All right? Because she couldn't slap the taste out of my mouth. She could have cut my tongue out, but she didn't think of that. The point is, do not make threats that you cannot carry out. Make promises that you can deliver. All right? Now, speaking of cannot, when did cannot become one word? I was typing it in. When I was typing this up, I typed can and not. And AI gave me a choice of can and not and cannot. Like they mean two different things. When did can and not become one word? Okay, this is the whole point of contractions. Let me show. And is there anybody out there who does not know what a contraction is? I mean it. If there's anybody out there who does not know what a contraction is, I'm going to have to help you some. All right. Now, here we go. Looking for this. All right. When I was typing this up, I said, "Do not," what you cannot deliver. And I wrote, "can not." And it said, "or cannot." Just like that. That's what it gave me. Those choices, like this and this, are the same. It gave me cannot. And I'm like, "You, what the? I was confused. I mean, I've been noticing it for a long time, but never has AI corrected me like I used the wrong word, okay? When did that happen? When did cannot become one word? All right? Think about it. We have do, we have do not, and we have don't. We have don't. All right. We do not have that donut. We don't have that. That's not an option. So why is it an option with cannot? You know what I'm saying? We have let me see, we have will. All right. Will, we have will not, and we have won't. Okay, that was the old English, won't. New English is won't. Okay, but we do not have will not like one word. There's a space there. Okay, why is cannot the only one that can do that? I don't understand. Okay, it doesn't make sense to me why one of them can do this, but all of the others cannot. What it was about? Was there a vote taken and I didn't know about it? Who decided that could happen like that? Who? And while we're on the subject, why not? Okay, why not? Why do we not have want? Okay, why don't we have that? See, somebody's making these rules up, and we agree to them, and they don't have any explanations as to why we need to follow these rules. That's what I'm concerned about. Okay, that and the election. But this was keeping me up, and I had to share it with you because now I want you to lose sleep over it too. Why cannot? Why cannot? Yes. Why cannot be cannot, and all the others cannot be, do not, and will not, and why not? What was it? Tell me why not? Oh, that's a different. Never mind. That's a stretch. All right, brothers and sisters, look, if you know who your representative is, but you're unable to contact them using their contact form, the clerk of the house actually it's the same person. The clerk of the house, or the clerk of the house, maintains addresses and phone numbers for all of the house members and committees, and the same with the clerk of the Senate. All right, the same thing. They keep all that information, but there's one phone number that you can call. I'm gonna tell it to you right now: 202-224-3121. And that is the House and Senate switchboard operator. If you call them and you know where you live, your zip code, they can your state and zip code, they can tell you who your representative is, and they can tell you who your senator is. They can tell you who your representatives are, House and Senate. Okay. The part of the problem is if you do not know who your representatives are in Congress, that is part of the problem. Okay, that means you have a lot of catching up to do. All right, get informed, get informed, get informed. All right, I'm gonna say this again. One of the most popular Google things the day before the election was, is Joe Biden still running? Who the fuck does not know that answer? I mean, and I have trouble understanding that people didn't. It doesn't matter where you get your news from, okay? I can't imagine any platform. I can't imagine any news outlet that at some point did not say, even if they didn't tell you why Biden dropped out the race, they, the fact that you didn't see him campaigning anywhere, you saw everybody else campaigning. You saw Kamala Harris like every 20 minutes campaigning, Trump every 20 minutes campaigning, and you didn't see Biden. And if that was the case, you didn't think to ask 3 months ago. You wait the day before, what, you was planning on voting for Biden up until then? And what did you do? Go to the voting booth not knowing that Biden was on the ballot, and you're like, fuck, there's no Biden. Who's this Kamala Harris person? I don't know her. I'm going to vote for Trump because I know that name. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Okay, how uninformed. Okay, there was this thing that in the news they call low information voters. Okay, and matter of fact, Trump says, I love low information voters. Those are my people. And he's right. He loved low information voters. Those were his people. But then there are these no fucking clue voters, which I don't know if anybody polled them or not. Okay, because I've never seen them represented in any poll. I've seen engaged and super engaged and slightly engaged and low information voters. But I did not see a no fucking clue voter. All right, it's time that you became extinct. Okay, if you're a no fucking clue voter, you need to be extinct. All right, one way or another, do yourself in, or you're going to be done in, because you've got to get a fucking clue. And I can't give it to you. I can't give you a clue because I've been doing everything in my power to give you a clue for the past, ever since, as long as I've had a voice, I tried to give people a clue. And if you're still clueless, okay, even the movie Clueless, they weren't actually clueless. All right. If you broke it down, everybody had some kind of point that they could make and contribute to society. Clueless was just the title of a movie. It wasn't the actuality. Now I'm seeing a fucking actuality of real clueless people. That's fucking crazy. All right. I want everybody to be represented. But my God, if you're fucking clueless, you don't even know what you need to be represented on. All right. Get involved. Get involved and get informed. My Lord. My Lord, my Lord. Now, I tell you what I'm going to do. We started late, and I apologize. But I can't drag this out for another 15 minutes. I'm going to tell you now. I was hurting. Tuesday, I was hurting. My family's hurting. We're concerned. We're concerned for the future. Think about this, okay? People were complaining because they said bacon was too expensive. I can't find bacon. All right. I'm so tired of Americans being pussies. All right. We had the best fucking economy in the world when everybody went through a pandemic. Everybody went through a supply chain crunch. We all did. All right. Every single fucking country. We are the one country that came out on top. And you know what the difference is? We were led by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Okay. And we were a democracy. Okay. Or a representative republic. Was the difference. Okay. And Biden worked his ass off to get things done right. And the economists were scared. They were going, if he does this the wrong way, we're going to wind up in a recession or a depression. But we got things down. Things are close to normal or a new normal that's livable. And it's because he did things slow and deliberate. Okay. I'm not saying he did things perfectly, but when it came to strikes, he went down to he was on the picket lines with the workers. Okay. Here's something a lot of you didn't consider. Was it October? There was the longshoremen were ready to strike. Matter of fact, I think they did strike, or they were like maybe the day one or it wasn't long enough for us to be impacted. Biden got involved and he says, look, guys, you do not want to be the ones who ruin Christmas for every fucking body. Can we hold off these negotiations until January? They agreed. So because of that, you're going to get the shit you want to get in December for Christmas, starting Black Friday, if you haven't already started shopping. Okay, that was Biden and Harris. And I'm not saying this because it's too late for you to go back because I want to change my vote. No, I'm saying this because you were warned. Elon Musk said, prepare for hardship. Okay, he can afford a little hardship. The man's got a fucking yacht. Okay, when you got a fucking yacht, what's a little hardship? You got a yacht. Okay, so there's going to be hardship. And one of the first things about the hardship, or one of the first opportunities for hardship, is going to be in January with the longshoremen strike, because Musk and Trump, they are not pro-worker. They are pro-fire your ass if you strike. They are not going to try to make this. It can be very, very ugly. All right. So you think that you're paying a little bit much for bacon now? First of all, why are you eating bacon any fucking way? Shit'll kill you. Beside that, there's no constitutional right to bacon. All right. If you have to give something up so you can afford a little bacon, fine. All right. Now learn to sacrifice. Stop being so fucking greedy. You claim to be a Christian. Well, guess what? Jesus sacrificed his life for you. Okay? So you can sacrifice a little fucking ice cream so you can have your bacon. You can sacrifice a little cinnamon roll so you can have some bacon. You can sacrifice a little bit of beer so you can have some bacon. If that your bacon is so goddamn important. If you believe in the military, support your troops. Well, guess what? They're sacrificing their lives and their families, not putting their families on the line, but they're making sacrifices for you. Now, true, they're being paid to do it and volunteered. No, they weren't drafted. But if you're going to support your military, they're sacrificing. You should sacrifice too. They're not seeing their families. Okay, that's a sacrifice for what they want to do and for what they believe in. You need to sacrifice. All right, suck it up. Yeah. You've gotten too soft around the middle. That could be all that bacon, could be the ice cream. but you've gotten also ignorant. You stop caring about people. Okay. And some of these people are people, hopefully, people you love. Now, I can understand incels being incels because they're incels. And they've already started attacking women online way worse than they were before, because now they're empowered. Okay. And what's the difference between an incel and an insole? The insole is in your shoe, the incel is underneath of it. All right. Those are low motherfuckers. Okay. They're being empowered. They're attacking people. All right. So, yes, they're being led by the chief, the incel in chief. Well, they will be led by the incel in chief in January 20th. People, if we're going to get through this together, we're going to have to get informed. Okay. And I want you to listen to me. I don't want to be your only source. I want you to watch Coffee with the Dog. I don't want that to be your only source. You need to be smart enough to verify shit on your own. Okay? Almost everybody out there had homework when they were kids in school. You thought, okay, I'm out of school, my homework's over. No, homework is just beginning. Because if you don't do your homework now, somebody's going to work your ass out of your home. It could be that bad. Do your fucking homework. Study up. If not for yourself, for the people you care about. And if you don't care about anybody, well, you fucking incel. Sorry. That's where that came from. Yeah, I was wondering how did I get to incels? All right. So, brothers and sisters, I'm a little long on the clock, but I'm a little short on an hour. And I'm going to wrap this up because I was supposed to be trying to keep this light and humorous. And I think my humorous is sore from standing here all this. Where's my humorous? Never mind. It's sore from leaning on my podium, which isn't really a podium. It's actually a music stand. See, look, right here. Let me show you. Oh, I can't. It's a music stand. I can't show you. No, can I? I don't know. But anyway, it's a music stand. It's one of those little black music stands made out of metal, and it has a sharp edge on it, and it's laying flat so that I can keep my stuff up here. But it's got the sharp edge up. So when I lean my arm on it, it's hurting. And I've been leaning on it a lot today. I've been leaning on a lot of stuff. I've been leaning on my liquor bottle, but not too much. I'm still sober. I can still drive. And thank you for asking. Yes, my wife and I, we almost hit a deer Friday night. G.D. Fenderson had a show in Pennsylvania with Ron Kane and Elizabeth Croydon and James Finn and Connor McAdams. Look out for Connor McAdams. He's a young kid on the comedy scene. He's new, relatively new. He's out of Philadelphia. Check him out if you can. Young guy. Check out James Finn. He's a veteran. He's been around for 10 years. And he's still making his rounds. He's working his ass off. He was very, very funny Friday night. Elizabeth, Ron is also been around about 10 years. Very, very funny man. Very dark. I'm not talking dark like me. I'm talking dark like Candyman. If Candyman were a comedian, he'd be Ron Kane. That's what I'm talking about. And Elizabeth Croydon, who's a veteran, she's been doing comedy for maybe 30 years. Okay, she's got her shit together, at least on the stage. Off the shit, she's a wreck just like the rest of us. And it's not just the election. Point is, thank you all for asking about the show. I appreciate that. It was very good. It was very nice turnout. As a matter of fact, G.D. Fenderson couldn't have his usual seat near the front. He had to stand in the back. When the shows were going on, while he was watching other comedians before he went up, he had to stand in the back. So good turnout. Very nice, good turnout. Don't know if it was a sold out crowd. I don't know what sellout is there. But I didn't see the seats empty. So I guess it's a sellout. I don't know. We'll find, that's beside the point. Here's the deal. Thank you for asking, and I answered it. So you don't have to ask again. Maybe on Monday you can ask GD about it. But I won't be there on Monday. I gotta wash my car. I almost hit a deer on the way home Friday night, and I said almost. We did not hit the deer. So, but the inside of the car, there's pits and shit everywhere because it's like, oh Lord, and it's just like, you know, bladder control just lost that shit, you know, because you get that close to a deer and he's not even looking at you. We didn't get the deer in the headlights thing because we were going this way and there's a truck coming this way and the deer was like stuck in the middle, and it's like, oh shit. And the deer was like looking at the truck with us because we were just an SUV. Yeah. And so the deer had his back turned to us, staring at the truck. So the truck got the deer in the headlights, and we got the deer with headlights, you know, because we could just see the back of his head, and he had little headlights. You know, that's how close we got to the deer. We could see the headlights, and the truck got so close, it could see the headlight. The deer, you know, the deer could see the headlights. And then I slowed up enough and veered to the right. The truck slowed up enough, and the deer still couldn't make up his mind. He was on the street. They had the little hook things. Now, if he was wearing shoes, he had like little rubber soles or something. He wouldn't have slid. But because he wasn't wearing soles, they got on that road. He slid a little, and then he turned around and got off the road, and nobody hit the deer. But in my car, there was some seepage, and so I got to clean that up today. Good thing I got leather seats, and I sponged and I splurged for the Scotch Guard on the carpet. So I got to clean the car today. But the deer is fine. He's gonna, as a matter of fact, I gave him a card, and he's probably watching right now. You know, he's probably counting his blessings right now. Probably counting, dear Lord, I almost got hit by 2 vehicles, and I'm here to talk about it. The thing is, the deer was on his way to Long Island. He was going to visit some friends over at the Napo residence. That's where he was on his way to. So he might be there I think he was going there for Thanksgiving to visit his family. Her family. So Matt can expect 1 or 2 more deers around Thanksgiving to, you know, when they go up to visit the family. You heard it here first. So, brothers and sisters, I want to thank all of you who subscribed to a YouTube channel and who subscribe to the Facebook channel. You know, Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. We appreciate it. Even though we haven't had a new member in about 2 months, that's okay. It's not okay. That's why I keep mentioning it. But, you know, I'm not putting in the work okay, here's the deal. I can make shorts, but I can't make shorts from my computer for some reason. I can only make shorts from my phone. I don't know why I can't make shorts from my computer. It won't let me make shorts from my computer anymore. I used to be able to do it. I don't know what I've reset. I've done all those other things, and I can't make them. I can make them, but they don't show up as shorts. They just show up as long videos like this. And I don't have the video footage on my phone that I could just make a short and post it from my phone. Because then it's like that. Really, my phone is one button. As soon as my phone sees the format, it goes, oh, it must be a short. My computer, which is got 10 times the power of my phone, sees a video in the format of a short, and it goes, oh, okay, it's a video. No, it's a short. See, I kept it under 90 seconds, and it's like elongated the 9:16 format, not 16:9, and I didn't even have closed caption on that motherfucker, and it's going like, no, it's a video. No, it's not. It's short. That's beside the point. So, if that's the reason why you have subscribed, shame on you. You're gonna take advantage of a man's handicap because he doesn't know how to make shorts. You're gonna just not subscribe? That's a goddamn shame. Goddamn shame. Well, that's okay. So on behalf, okay. So if you get around to it, please subscribe. You know. Oh yeah, and for this is the first time we've been on X, thanks to Stephen, the sitcom, Ortiz. He has a X account, and he said I could use it because I am not paying those motherfuckers a dime. But if someone else wants to pay them a dime, you know, or we'll jump through hoops to do it, and they let me use it, God bless them. Bless them. But I will give Elon Musk as little bit of my money as possible. I don't even know what he owns anymore. You know, I know I didn't buy a Tesla, which I wanted to do. I can't support that kind of shit. But before, I was not going to buy a Tesla after I found out he was a racist bastard mistreating the black people at his company. I said, okay, I can't buy a fucking Tesla. Not now. That's what I'm talking about power. One last thing. I know I'm in the middle of saying goodbye. I was talking about doing your homework. It's going to be hard to trust the press now, especially companies like the Washington Post and LA Times, because they were so afraid of Trump, they didn't endorse anybody. Once he becomes president, you think the fear is going to go away? You're not going to be able to trust news sources because they're going to be afraid to cover a vindictive bastard who is the resident of the United States. So you're going to have to do your research. You're not just going to be able to trust things verbatim. Verify your sources. I don't care who the hell your source is. I don't care if you watch MSNBC, CNN, Fox, CBS, OAN, Newsmax, News Porn, Pornhub, Fans Only, OnlyFans. I don't give a shit. Verify it, okay? And if the things don't make sense, find out why it doesn't make sense. Things don't feel like they make sense for a reason, okay? When they say trust your gut, okay, they're not talking about the gassy part. They're talking about the meaty part, the part that says, that just don't feel right. So please, for God's sake, and yours, because it matters more to you than it does to God. You know something? God is not affected by any of this stuff. Price of bacon goes up, doesn't affect God. Price of gas goes up, don't affect God. The oceans get polluted and everything starts dying in it. Don't affect God. It affects you. So you better act. Don't wait for God to act. You better fucking act. Okay? And act like you care about something other than your fucking self. Okay. Now I'm going to finish. All right. So thank you on behalf of the Church of Last Resort and the entire Roll family, my wife Amona, my kid Cinnamon, Jelly Jr., our cat Tootsie, and our dog Stop Dropping. I wish you safe travels, and I hope you will join us next week at 9 a.m. Not 9:15 like today. I apologize. I don't know what took me so long to figure it out. It was on me. It was my equipment. I was trusting the meters. The meter said everything was great. The only thing that didn't say was great was the little note from StreamYard that kept saying, we're having connectivity issues. And this usually happens when something's not right. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm looking at my meters and everything is right. So I apologize because I reset. I did everything that I thought I could do, but apparently I didn't do everything because the last thing I did fixed it. Okay. So thank you. I really want to thank our behind the scenes staff because we ran over trying to keep this to an hour. And I thank you, Mr. Poole and Mr. Coffee and Mr. Dog, all of you. I know I've been keeping you away from your Papoose Patuk convention. And so thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you so much. And please come back next week. And wherever Mind Dog TV and the word is heard, be there. Please be there. In the name of George Collin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck? Yeah. Fuck yeah!